back, everyone. I'm just like so excited to have Evan Blankenship on this wonderful live event with me today. I am. And so here's the beautiful thing. Evan is in Columbus, Ohio with me, but he's at his place. Um, Evan is an account executive in marketing and sales with the Fan. I think it's 97. I'll have to get that there for you. But he's also an amazing, amazing singer, guitarist for the band North to Nashville. So help me welcome Evan up to the stage.
What's up? I love the intro. That's perfect.
You love the intro. It's the Fan 97.1.
1.
Ah,
97.1. That's right. Yeah.
I figured it was 1 to 9. I just wasn't
It's
sure.
one of those. Yeah.
And 97.1. And a former Buckeye.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
All those good things.
Way back when. Yeah.
Way back when. I think you played with your band too, if I'm correct.
In college?
At the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer.
This past weekend. Yes.
This past weekend too. That's 3 years.
I know. So it was a great show. We were fortunate that we were able to do it for him this weekend. You know, we do a lot of work for the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer, and we've done some tailgates and stuff in the past, which I guess we can kind of get into here in a little bit. But they had asked us, if we were able to play one of their tailgate dates, and we were able to make it work for them. So,
and it was homecoming.
Yep.
Wow. My mom makes these. My mom makes these signs every Saturday to whoever we're going to beat. And this time she put a Buckeye recipe for winning and includes one horseshoe stadium. And in there goes a team of Buckeyes. It was just hilarious, but it was homecoming.
Yeah.
So
there was a good crowd out there. So it was, wasn't sure if the weather was going to really cooperate with us, but ended up being a perfect day.
That's because Hurricane Ian went across the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. And boy, my heart goes out to all those that were affected by that. You know, it's a major, not only it's disruptive of what I saw at Sanibel and Fort Myers.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously our thought and prayers go to with all of those people.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about North to Nashville. Let's talk about leadership. Yeah. Let's also talk about how, let's see, you wrote and produced with me the first song for my book, right?
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm. It's time to be. Oh, and you sung. Yeah.
A little bit.
Singer. The whole thing. Which it's great. It's on Spotify. Time to Be You under Side B Originals. You'll get to hear Evan's beautiful voice. But as we're talking about, you know, you're in business and you're you're a lead singer, guitarist, and extraordinaire in North to Nashville. Where do you see the similarities between a lead singer having to engage with their fans consistently and positively as leaders need to do with their teams?
Yeah, it's there are a lot of similarities. I mean, just in how I like to operate the band. Now, granted, there's 4 of us in the band, and I like to think of the band as we all have, you know, equal share in what we say and how we like to operate. But in terms of just being in front of clients as well, like I'm still dealing with, I'm still interacting with venue owners and booking agents the same way that I would interact with a client to try and bring them on with radio. And it's all about communication, you know, at the end of the day, I think, you know, managing expectations and just trying to be when I'm with the band, I'm trying to put on the best show that I can possibly put on for not only for our fans, but for the venue as well. And then when I'm kind of working on the radio side of things, you know, I want to be the best radio correspondent or the best radio rep that I can possibly be for that client. So in case they need anything, not even with 97.1 The Fan, but if they just have a general question about radio or marketing or advertising in general, I want to be the first one that they go to when they ask those kinds of questions.
Right.
And for some of these, venue owners or booking agents or, private parties or wherever we're playing, I want to be the liaison or the person that those people can go to when they need help with something or when they need a question asked, or if they just want somebody to put on a good show for them. I want to be able to provide that, that entertainment for them.
I love that. And do you, when you're up there singing and playing and putting on a good show, do you pick out one or two people in the audience that are just really thriving, or do you look at the whole audience in general?
It depends how much the audience has had to drink, first of all. So I may be looking at one or two people, and it may not be why you think I'm looking at them. It's because, but no, I mean, yeah, you absolutely want to connect with people when you're up there. That's I think the entire point of being in the music industry is connecting with people and putting good music out for, your fans, and obviously to listen to. So whenever we're up on stage, I try to go from, stage left to stage right, to center, to the back, to the front, just to make sure I'm kind of, hitting all of my bases, so to speak. And when I'm interacting with the crowd, making sure everybody's having a good time and making sure everybody can hear everything, for the people that may be in the back. So, saying hello, or, just making some kind of comments here and there to all the people in the back, just to let them know that, hey, I can see you. I appreciate that you're here. So yeah, I don't think you can necessarily focus on one or two people, when you're up there. I think it's got to be an entire crowd kind of thing. You got to, work the stage. You got to, go from the left hand side to the right hand side, making sure you're not forgetting about anybody, because that's a great way for people to, kind of disengage with it. Yep, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think of that with leaders too. Sometimes leaders are more focused either on their top sellers or their bottom sellers, right?
Bingo.
There's
Yep.
this whole group in the middle that if you just pay attention to, they're gonna appreciate it.
Yeah.
They're going to probably do more than you've ever expected them to do. And they feel a part of the team. They feel a part of that energy.
Well, that's a great analogy, because you only have so many people up front of the stage, and you only have so many people in the back, but where the bulk of everybody is going to sit is right smack dab in the middle. So you can't forget about the people that are in the middle, because that's where the 80% of the audience is going to be standing. So you certainly can't just rely on the front people or the first two rows of the people that are up on stage, because you have, however many people, 20, 30, 40 rows of people right behind them. So, you gotta take care of them as well.
I love that. And so when you go into, I'm going to put this up here, that if anybody wants to see some upcoming shows, that's where they can go. But when you go, let's go into a little bit of the behind the scenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of leaders need to understand, that there is still some behind the scenes. It's not just the stage presence, right?
Sure.
Rehearsal, but there's also, I want to say, collaboration in writing, because you do a lot of your own writing, right?
Yeah, I do. So I was in Nashville for a bit, where I was for about 5.5-ish years or so. And so down there is when I was kind of cultivating, crafting the whole songwriting side of myself. And then once my wife and I moved up here, I didn't have nearly as many songwriters or connections, I guess, up here. So I kind of relied on myself to, I like to think that I know how to structure a song and what sounds good to me. Sure, it helps playing out playing those songs that you wrote out for, the fans to hear and get their thoughts and opinions on them. But Nashville, like I said, was kind of where I started crafting it, and then writing by myself kind of gave me my own freedom to put what I want down. And I feel like I think there's benefits to both writing by yourself and writing with other people. So I try to do both as much as I possibly can. As of late, it's kind of been
You.
me in my office at night or early in the mornings when things aren't too crazy around, and you get some free time to sit down with a guitar and work on something that you may have written a while back, or try to think of some new ideas.
I love that. I love that because that kind of, to me, correlates with the data that leaders need to look at. There's a business side of everything.
Oh, sure.
There's also a humanity side of everything. And if we can take that both and approach and really, if you didn't have the personality, the humanity part of it, the good intel of your songwriting, then you wouldn't have the fans.
Nope.
But you got to have the business part of it too, right?
Everything works together, obviously, with one another. Like you said, obviously, if the songs aren't good, or if I just got up one day randomly and I said, you know what, I think I want to write a song, and I write the song and I go out and play it for people. I mean, they're gonna know. People are gonna know, who just kind of picked up songwriting a couple of days ago and who's been doing it for 10 plus years.
Right.
The words are different, how you sing things are different, melodies are different. And much like what you said, it's everything flows with one another, and the fans can hear that whenever you sing something that you've written yourself personally.
Right. And I love that because, for me in leadership, that's what your team needs to feel about you as the leader. Your team needs to understand that you're putting in the hard work too, that you're not just sitting at your desk playing solitaire, right?
Right.
That you've been in that seat, that you know what that's like, and that collaboration. But, right now, what are some of the, where are some of the big shows that you may have going on here in Columbus?
So we just kind of wrapped up our summer schedule. So we're kind of on the downward slide, obviously, of 2022 here. October is a big month for us. This weekend, we are at Edison Brewing Company for their Oktoberfest on this Friday. So
that's here in Gahanna, right?
Yep, right there in Gahanna. And then we are playing, what is Saturday? I think we're playing a tailgate show for St. Mary's up in St. Mary's, Ohio, for the Ohio State game. It's another cruise event for the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer.
Yeah.
Awesome. We've got that, and then I try to take it week to week, because if I start looking ahead too much, I start getting overwhelmed with everything. But yeah, I think we have almost every weekend in October. We've got shows, and I think you had the link down there about the upcoming shows, but people can go to our website, North to Nashville, and kind of see everywhere that we're playing. And then once October's done, we start kind of getting into Thanksgiving and Christmas, and really the band kind of slows down a little bit just for family time and spending time with friends and family around the holidays, which I think is important for us, especially after playing 50 shows during the summer. You kind of need some time to unwind, and then we'll start things back up in 2023 with some bar shows, and then it'll be the summer in 2023, and we'll be doing this all over again. So
we go right on into it. I think if I know the industry, everybody seems to shut down about December 10th, and not really pick back up until late January.
Yeah, right? We've got some shows sporadically that pop up in November and December. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, you're exactly right. Everything kind of starts shutting down as you start getting into December, and then everything picks back up probably middle of January, and it's just
Right.
yeah, it's just a wheel,
Very
just a cycle. Yep.
That's so awesome. What made you decide to get into music? What was your passion about it?
Well, so growing up, I played athletics pretty much my entire career,
Mhm.
or my entire childhood, I should say. So from the time I could pretty much walk, I was playing basketball or soccer,
Mhm.
baseball. When I got to high school, I was doing football and basketball and track and field. So it was always athletics. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to go play football at Ohio State, and I always like knew I could sing, but never. My sister was the leads in all of our school musicals, and so she was the much more theatrical one. I was the jock, and so when we got to college, um, the Ohio State, or I wasn't the Ohio State football team, but the athletic department would put on a talent show every
Mhm.
year. Buckeyes Got Talent, and there would be representatives from each sports team to participate in the talent show. I don't know how it happened. One of my roommates heard me singing randomly one day, and they're like, "Hey, you got to get Evan on down here to try out for this thing." So they pulled me in front of the team, and I don't even remember what song I sung. I think it might have just been Carmen, Ohio. And so I did that, and they're like, "You're our guy for the talent show." So that's kind of, and my freshman year, it was like my freshman year of college. That talent show was the very first time I ever sung in front of people. That
Mhm.
like wasn't a karaoke night or something. So it was like an actual thing where I got up on stage and I sang in front of a microphone, and I had to look presentable. So that was the first time. And then from there, it really, I tell the story at our shows, but Should Have Been a Cowboy by Toby Keith was one of the first songs I ever learned how to play on the guitar. And I knew I could sing. I lived right behind a guitar shop my junior year. And this was around the time when like YouTube started getting bigger, and
Yeah.
Justin Bieber was getting found on like YouTube. And, Luke Combs was putting stuff out on YouTube. And so I started putting out covers of stuff on YouTube. Well, I bought my first guitar for like $150, went home that night, just typed in how to play guitar chords, whatever. And I learned 3 chords, and lo and behold, I learned how to play Should Have Been a Cowboy. And it kind of just took off from there.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And, one thing led to another. There were some people in Nashville that had saw some of the videos I posted, moved on down there, and kind of the rest is history, so to speak, where I
Mhm.
just kind of kept at it. So it was never something that was like I was born with. I mean, I guess you could say like singing in general, but it was never something that I even thought was something I would ever be pursuing in high school. It was always I wanted to go to the NFL, or be
That
be,
that
be involved in athletics somehow. And
Mhm.
it's crazy where life takes you sometimes. Where I got to college and I knew kind of my playing career wasn't going to be for very much longer, so you might as well try to switch some stuff up.
Find something else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's so funny you say that because in the book I even wrote, we all never say, "Oh, I'm gonna be a CEO, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be a leader, I'm gonna be some may say they're gonna be a musician. You went down the athlete, you were gonna be an NFL player. Um, but we never really say what our dreams are,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Or what we think we can do. And so I see that there are a lot of unidentified or untapped leadership that are in organizations now. If somebody out there right this minute is feeling like, "Oh, I really want to be a leader. I'm studying, I'm doing this, I've gone here, but I'm not getting tapped on the shoulder." What would be one piece of advice you'd give them?
Keep going. Just
Yeah.
just like I've got a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old, as you know, so it's like I watch Finding Nemo all the time. Just keep swimming, just keep,
Just keep
because
swimming.
because that's really what it is. I mean, I didn't have any clue what I was doing in the music industry when I first started, but it's just something that you just gotta keep chipping away at it. Kind of like, I mean, I'll use like you're chopping down a tree. I mean, you're not going to do it in one or two whacks at it. You got to keep going until you make a big enough dent where that sucker falls over and you kind of, you get somewhere with it. So if someone's out there struggling, or if, they're just not finding their rhythm yet, sure. I mean, you can maybe tweak some things here and there, but I mean, if you stick with it long enough, you're going to start seeing the results. You got to look forward. You can't necessarily, look back and see. Yeah. You got to look and see what's ahead, and
and keep putting
you'll get there.
One brick in the in your steps every single day.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, and reach out for help. Look online for help.
Yeah. There's so many resources these days. I mean, when I said, like, I spent, it was like it used to be $100 for a guitar lesson. And when you're in college, I mean, you don't have that kind of money. I mean, I was like, I'm like, I can't be spending
noodles, right? Ramen noodles and SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, right. I can't spend $400 a month in guitar lessons when I'm playing football. So it's like there's so many resources with YouTube, like people writing blogs, or LinkedIn, or just go to Google and type it, whatever it is that if someone's struggling with something, or whatever it is, just a simple Google search, and there's going to be thousands of different things that can come up. Just click on something and then you read up on it, or like I said, just try to tweak whatever strategy you're currently using to freshen things up, if nothing else. If you're stuck in a rut somewhere. So there's plenty, or as simple, like you said, simply just ask for help from somebody that may be in that position that you want to see yourself in, or somebody that's already gotten to the goal that you're maybe setting for yourself, and relying on their expertise or their wisdom to see how you can cultivate or make something your own. So
how often do you rehearse?
This is probably a bad question because we never do it. we never rehearse. And I say that, like, I mean, that's not just to say that, like, we don't ever, like, do anything together, but we've been playing together. Me, Brian, and Ryan, Ryan Toohey is a bass player, and Brian Turnbull is our guitar player. The three of us have been together for almost 5 years now. Ben Anderson is our drummer. It'll be 3 years for him coming up. And we're so close now where if we want to learn a new song, we'll just send the song out and just be like, hey, learn your parts. And then when we get up on stage, it'll be the first time playing it for people, and you'll never know. So that goes back to, trusting my guys, and, trusting that they're doing the right thing and practicing. And if they're not, then they'll tell you, like, hey, I'm not really comfortable with playing this song tonight. Can we play something else? And we're fortunate where we've got a pretty large bank of songs that we can kind of scroll through. But in terms of practicing, it's really like, we very rarely practice unless we're learning new materials or new songs that, like, we've written, which we haven't, like, we need to still write parts to. But that's pretty much that's pretty much it in terms of rehearsals. But
rehearsals, meaning, I think you're talking, you don't get together, but you're all practicing.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're still practicing alone. And I mean, when we first started, when we were learning like 60 songs, we were meeting probably like once or twice a week for maybe like a month or two straight before we even stepped foot on stage.
Right.
When the band first started, I'm like, I'm not getting up there unless I know that we can play all this stuff.
Yeah.
So when you first start out, there was a lot of rehearsing, and then the more you play, it just becomes second nature to you. So
it's like in your bones.
It really does. And like it's almost like it's automatic almost. So whenever you play a certain song, it's like you just know what comes next naturally because you've played it so many times. And I think with us, we're playing close to 100 shows a year. Those are like kind of our rehearsals. And if you have a show where there's only like 10 people out there, then that's like, hey, this is just a glorified band practice.
Right.
So if there's anything that you wanted to try out there, you have a little bit more freedom to when the audience maybe isn't as favorable as you want it to be. But yeah, so we're always practicing and looking for new songs to play. So that would be, I guess, yeah, like you said, our own little rehearsals at home.
Yeah, your own little rehearsals. So do we have any upcoming songs from North to Nashville that may be coming out soon? You don't have to tell us what it is, but
no, we've got our first record coming out soon. I've been saying soon rather than like I used to put like, oh, it's coming out before October. Well, guess what? It's October and it still ain't out yet. So I've stopped putting deadlines on when the record's coming out. So we've got 2 more songs that we really need to hone in on and kind of get things wrapped up with them, just in terms of how we want them to sound and everything. So once those 2 are done, then they're off to mastering, and then we'll be able to put them out for the world to hear. So I like to say soon. I like to say it's going to happen before 2023, but we're super close with it. Like I said, just 2 more songs and we'll be good. So I've actually got
creative process, right?
It really is. And you've got 4 other guys that have their opinions on how they want something to sound. So it's, trying to take all of our thoughts and opinions. And then we have a producer as well that, shares his thoughts on everything. So it's trying to take 4 or 5 different ideas and, make sure everybody's happy with something,
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not an ego thing, if I'm correct. It's more of what's best for the song, what's best for the band will land first.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
always how it, I mean, at the end of the day, it's ultimately what's best for the band and, best for the song too.
Yeah.
You don't want to throw something in there that just, doesn't sound right, because, that's going to transcend into the listener's ear. And then that song is going to be a wash whenever, you put it out. So you want everything to gel together.
That's right. Now, speaking of side B, do you have a side B on, is it a full album or a song, or is it 2 songs? Or...
It'll be 10 songs.
10 songs. Okay.
So it's like, I think like a full-fledged like record, I think is like 12, and then like an EP is like 8. So we're like right in between. We're like right in the middle. But yeah, we'll have 10 songs. They can find it on Spotify and iTunes, and it'll be out Apple Music, all the other music's out there, Pandora. So it'll be out there. But and some of the stuff, we're playing a lot of the music now, just to give people a sense of what's going on.
Yeah,
get them used to hearing it. So whenever it is released, they can listen to it both at home, and then they can come see us and sing along to it as well.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad you were on here, because it really shows that leadership and music and leadership really are synergetic.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
And some of the tactics you use for not only the data and the behind the scenes in the business part of it correlates to also the humanity part of it, of bringing your best self forward on stage and in public and behind the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, that was, even from my playing days at Ohio State, that was something that Coach Tressel always instilled to us, was doing the right things, and even when nobody was looking, kind of stuff. So, and that's the leadership mentality that I kind of take, whether it's in radio sales, whether it's I'm doing stuff with the band. It's making sure that I'm doing the right thing, not only by myself, but for my guys in the band and the radio station, my coworkers, all that stuff. So it's
amazing.
You nailed it. Yep.
Well, I thank you for being on here. We have 1 more minute. Is there anything you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to say real quick?
No, I appreciate you having me on. Hope to see you here pretty soon. Make sure to check out North to Nashville everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, all that stuff. So
all that good stuff. And if you're here in Columbus, check out in Gahanna this Friday night.
Yeah. Edison Brewing Company.
I forgot the name of it. Thank you. All right, my friend.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. Sit tight.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. And that was such a great topic with Evan. Next week, I will be out, but we will have Carol Mahoney as my guest host, along with Sharon Sells. And they are going to be doing maybe a little bit of karaoke. So until next time, keep rocking your talent.